Yes, my name is Kuldeep Singh Randhawa. This is one of many videos which I'm making, which will be embedded on the website www.realrandhawa.com. This video concerns itself with a section on that website called Canadian Crimes. I can speak about these crimes because they've actually occurred to me as a victim. And it's occurring as part of systematic racism, which I've kind of covered in other sections of the website and other videos. Harming a person where many institutions are working together through individuals who are corrupt and are steered in the wrong direction by certain individuals who have the ability to steer the process in such a way that a person will never get justice. One of those approaches is to have a person searched as he's entering the courtroom, which the sheriffs have done constantly, and then reports are made, and those reports are then sent up to someone who has authority and the ability to know that what's taking place will be interfered with. So a person who's going to court, instructions will be sent to the masters or the justices. Mr. Randhawa's before you, don't give him any justice. This is a criminal activity which will only be made clear once a full investigation is done, where I have repeatedly told our Prime Minister to order an investigation of APEC BC, which is the regulatory body that has involved itself in serious crimes, which is the matter of the water tank, which I've often referred to as the initiating fraud. And I've told the Prime Minister now through this video that the legal system in BC is not functioning except for doing crimes. We don't have a court of law. What we have is a crime house. What we have is a courtroom full of lunatics who don't understand basic science or basic mathematics or basic accounting or basic tax laws. Look at the Canadian crime section of how the crimes have occurred to me. I want each and every one of those matters to be investigated and matters referred to the Crown Council, because all of those individuals who did these crimes should be investigated. What is actually taking place here is a person is subjected to an investigation, such as a failure of a water tank. And so the Engineers Act is used as a weapon against good engineers, so that those engineers who have done crimes and serious misconduct involved in fraud are never investigated. And so people who are coming to this country are being used by those people who are seriously corrupt and not following the law. And these are the ones that we need to go after. And I've written to Chief Justice Christopher Hinkson on numerous occasions, and now I'm going public with this thing, because I've reported to him on numerous occasions that there's crimes taking place and I want the matter to be investigated. So when he issued an order ex mero moto in one of the proceedings which relates to the high-rise, I expected some changes to take place. This is one of the reasons why my family at that time believed I was about to get justice, and that made a serious impact on my family affairs in a positive direction. And what happens? The judge who was appointed was Madam Justice Murray, who clearly committed a crime, did not follow the order of the Chief Justice. So what was the purpose of having that order issued if all you're really doing, Chief Justice Christopher Hinkson, is appointing corrupt judges to appear in my matters? Numerous lawyers who clearly know what I'm going through are walking away. And these lawyers are now advising other people to not come forward. So some of the good lawyers who wanted to assist me, unfortunately, a number of these people are in the Indo-Canadian community. And so they are being sucked into this colonization model that is still taking place here. You need to be better than this. You are representing the Sikh community in some regards. Just because you have a small firm or you belong to the Indo-Canadian community, don't think that the Indo-Canadian community will not hold you accountable down the road. Just because some organizations like World Sikh Organization have remained silent, I will be approaching that organization. I have some serious matters to resolve with that organization. That will be done within about 60 days by September of 2023. I don't think I want to go beyond that date. If the matter is not resolved with that organization, there's going to be issues for sure. I'm giving these guys the benefit of the doubt. So, when you go into a courtroom and the sheriffs are actually searching you when you've not done anything wrong, as if you're some sort of a criminal, that's a way of harassing a victim. They are not following the Sheriff's Act. I've told the sheriffs on numerous occasions that you need to do a study of the Sheriff's Act. And don't follow the advice of some corrupt lawyer who's not going to give you proper legal advice. This is how bad the system is here. So in talking about the initiating fraud, which is the APEC BC versus Randhawa, an investigation of a water tank that was held in April of 2005. If you can understand that that organization for a period of 2 years, when the first letter that I received was back in 2003, all the way up to April of 2005, they had 2 years to provide complete disclosure. They did not. They provided a whole bunch of documents literally days before the hearing. And once they did that, it was pretty obvious that there was no water pipes in this so-called structure that was built that was supposed to be a water tank. So how can a water tank be a water tank when it hasn't got pipes? This is not rocket science. And all those professional engineers out there who are looking at this video, you need to contact me and give me maximum support. Don't doubt me anymore. We have an organization that we're paying to regulate the profession of engineers who are putting good engineers out of business, and they're corrupting the engineering profession. The lawyers don't really have any sense of correctness at all. They're not following the law. They've ruined their profession right down to the bottom. Just as some of those jokes, like what's 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea? My response to that now is that 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea is not enough. It's a bad start. I think we need to put many people there. And you lawyers, you guys have limited time to do the right thing now. Don't think you're going to get away with this, because you will not. I don't care how many people out there who are lawyers who have remained silent. It's time, particularly those lawyers who are supposed to act for me. You have an opportunity to do the right thing. That's required under the canons of ethics. Don't rely on the fact that those judges are going to keep on protecting you. Don't rely on the fact that the Law Society of BC is not going to investigate. If we as the people have to create our own institutions to regulate ourselves, we'll do that. Because it seems, we're paying taxes in a nation that is not even following the law. We have a rule of tyranny here. And so what was the point of accepting a report from Paul who worked at Westmark Consultants, Inc., preparing that report to a building code, when a water tank is not a building? You don't use an inappropriate code of practice. And so there's going to be videos made, particularly talking about that matter, with the evidence attached. They're going to be focused on few things so the people who are listening to me can see one fact of that proceeding, which clearly says that we have an engineering body that doesn't know how to regulate. And we have judges who are appointed who are corrupt. They're using and abusing Rule 18. What has typically been happening here for the last 3 decades, I would believe, is lawyers are starting vexatious proceedings and sharing that information with other lawyers. And so they have this legal or illegal advantage. And then when a person is capable enough to prove his cases, as I have, then they would abuse the Rule 18 against the victims and say, Mr. Randhawa doesn't know what he's talking about. When I have actually now repeatedly written to many people within the Vancouver registry that my funds that were held in the trust accounts of the Supreme Court of BC have been embezzled. You were told to investigate those matters, and you have not. I've informed the sheriffs. The sheriffs in the courtroom have the jurisdiction of the courts to make sure that no one is harmed. That doesn't just mean doing a search. It means the person is not emotionally hurt, he's not pushed around, and if he's reporting a crime, that crime has to be investigated. I need to know, when I've told you at least 50 times now that there's a crime taking place in the courthouse, I would like to see those 50 reports. What happened? Who did you talk to? Which judge did you refer to? Because you clearly know that the Rule 18 basically says that if a person is vexatious, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's filing a frivolous claim. Let me tell those sheriffs, let me tell those judges who have referred to the order of Justice Verhoeven, a person who is harmed and punched in the face has a meritorious claim. A person who is pushed into the car so he will be killed is a meritorious claim. A person who has his funds stolen and property stolen by judges and lawyers who are doing corrupt activities in the courtroom itself, that is a meritorious claim. When a crime occurs, you have the courts to investigate those matters. If it's a civil matter, then those matters have to be treated with everyone being treated the same. And when you don't allow an application to be filed, you are obstructing justice. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, that's at least 10 years of imprisonment. Do you really want to end up in jail? Because I'm trying to do the decent thing, I'm trying to follow the law and telling you guys there's serious problems with the court system. And so I'm going to bring a closure here and keep on saying, refer to those sections under the website called Canadian Crimes. I can only speak about these things is because I've physically been through the court system for at least 15 years now, and I know some of those activities taken there are improper, illegal, and unlawful. I would not be making this video in the first year of going to the court. I had to go through the entire system to realize where it's failing, how it's intentionally failed by the judges, because they don't want a court that delivers justice. What they're doing is doing crimes, and that's the way we have to look at this thing. And why are the courts being so corrupt? Perhaps everything that's taking place in Canada right now is taking place because if the courts were functioning properly, the medical tyranny that we are dealing with would not be carrying on in this fashion. In the UK, there are now reports. I'm talking about this pandemic that occurred in 2019. There are reports that all those people, the groups that were vaccinated, they have the highest mortality rates. In the UK, they are still following the law. But it seems to me that the former colonies are still entrapped into this colonization model, and you're not changing, and you're carrying on with past attitudes, with condescending attitudes is what I refer it to, and it has to stop. You cannot do this anymore, guys. You want to have a nation that's solid and strong, we can achieve that. But you have to have a country that's following the law and treating every citizen and resident of this nation equally under law. Thank you.